Hey, good morning guys, it's Jess. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome to my backyard extension. So right here behind me is where I've had about 30 to 35 feet of trees cleared out into the woods. Right where this grass line is where my property used to end, and it was all trees. So I cut down all the trees. I do have some dirt over there. This is just filler dirt that needs to be spread out and compacted before I can get the area ready for planting. So that is the status on that. I am so excited for the plants I have back here. I have a whole vision. Everything is mapped out, ready to go. It's going to take some while to get completed, but I have a whole vision, y'all, and I cannot wait. I'm so excited for all this extra planting space I'm going to have. So what I'm going to be doing today is starting what I'm going to be calling my rehabilitation bed. I'm going to be tackling this fence line here to my right and just creating a new bed. It's going to be a temporary bed, so it's not going to be the finalized shape or anything, just to get all of the clearance plants that I've bought into the ground and a hope at life. So that's what I'm going to be doing today. Let's go ahead and just jump right into work. So here is kind of a before look for you guys, just a plain fence line. My neighbors actually had this installed last summer. And what I've done so far is he has actually gone in and trimmed down the grass along the fence line. I did go in and spray it, so it is in the process of dying, which I'm excited about. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mow this down really short first, and then I'm just going to take my tiller, rip up the grass, and start sheet mulching this area. So yeah, let's get to work. Alright you guys, so I've got the area mowed down to about a 2-inch height, maybe about 1 inch to 2 inches tall. We are right at the entry, so right where this handle is where my gate will be. So I want the bed to kind of start, I guess, about right here-ish. I want it to kind of fan out, and it'll be kind of like a meandering bed going down this way. I am going to be having a path installed that will go this way, so I want the path to kind of fan outward, if that makes sense. So I hope you guys are following along with the vision that I have in my head. So basically what I'm going to do is till up all of this area down here. I'm probably going to start right about this, probably right about here to start the bed. So yeah, let's go ahead and till.
A million people in the crowd, but I only see your face in all the lights. And as the bass keep pounding on me, baby, I really wanna make you mine. I don't really care about love. I don't really care about happy ever afters. Something about you gives me hope. Something about you, yeah. When the sun goes down and the night sky's falling, do you believe in one-time lovers? 'Cause deep inside of my wildest dreams, you'll be by my side when the sun goes down.
Alright you guys, so I've got the ground tilled pretty much to my liking. I do have a couple of areas where I could probably go over a third time. I did do 2 passes with the tiller. Normally it does take about 4 passes in order to get everything completely cleaned up. But because I'm going to be sheet mulching, I'm not too concerned. I just wanted to get most of the grass roots out of the ground. So what I'm going to do now is grab some of my plants, start lining them along the fence line. Again, none of this is going to be a permanent location. I just want to get them in the ground in order to give them the best shot at life. If I'm able to, hopefully I can get to finishing this bed this fall. If not, it will be next spring. But enough rambling. Let me go grab the plants, set them out, and then we will dig some holes. Mama. You get in your chair? Great job, boo. All right, you guys, so I've got everything laid out pretty much how I want it for now. And y'all, I've jam-packed this bed to the max. So this is just enough room to get all these clearance plants in the ground just until I know where I really want to move them. I'm going to go ahead and start digging some holes, and then I'll give you guys a tour of everything I have here.
I told you I'm not yours anymore. No, I'm not yours. So why you trying to hold on when I'm not there for you? Wanna take a different lane, wanna play my own game, and I don't need you here, so won't you let me go? Wanna take this ball and chain that you have put on me and throw it out the window. I think that you should let go, 'cause you know this is not meant to be. Let go. Maybe I should have known that you are not the right one for me. Let go. Let me go.
Alright, 1 hour later, and all of the holes are dug except for the very last tree down there on the end, which I probably will be putting in a different location, so that one I'm just going to hold off on for now. But let's go ahead. I've got my soil in the cart ready to go. I'm going to get these in the ground and then mulch. So I am back. I had to take a little bit of a break, run to the store and pick up a few more bags of garden soil to finish this half of the fence. So I just wanted to show you guys how I take care of my clearance plants. So as you can see, this one, the roots are starting to grow out of the bottom of the pot, and that is why it's starting to brown. So what I'm going to do through is clean out all of the dead leaves and try to get this out as easy as I can. Wow, you guys, look at that. So it is super root bound, and I'm just going to tease the roots to encourage them to kind of branch out on their own, so they kind of know that they don't have to keep winding around themselves and choking out the plant. So just do this nice and gentle. Just loose them up a little bit. Really get this side here. Okay, and I'm going to take this over to the trash can, knock off some of the leaves, and I'll be back. Alright, so I am back. I have pulled off most of the dead foliage. There is still a little bit, which I'm just going to let naturally fall off. But y'all, this has been in this pot way too long. So this one is not really anything wrong with the plant. As you can see, the roots are healthy. They're not mushy. They don't smell. They're nice, strong, white, healthy roots. They've just been in the pot for way too long. So I think this will be way more happier in its hole. So I'm going to place it in its hole here, and then fill it up with some nice garden soil. And just so you guys know, I have already tossed some biotone down in the bottom of all of the holes. before I started planting. So I'll pack that around the root ball nice and tight. I do have this mounted up just a little bit, and I think that's good. So I'm going to water this in. Normally I would cut this back about a third if the roots were really mushy and brown and just did not look healthy and white as these do. Then I would cut the plant back about a third, just so the plant can focus all of its energy on building a new, healthy, strong root system and not focus on putting out foliage or blooms. But I think this one will be fine. It was just in its pot for too long, so I'm actually going to leave this. It just needs to be watered at this point. So I think these two will be fine. I've got one more of these to plant, and I'm just going to continue going. So for this daylily, super easy, you guys. All you need to do is pull off the dried leaves. Like, it is that easy. Just like that. And they look like they've been dead for a while, so they should come off pretty easy. If I could just get my fat fingers in between there. There we go. And voila. Perfectly healthy plant. Just needs to be watered. And look at the roots on that. Wow. All right, you guys, so here is what the unfinished product is looking like. Again, this bed is not by any means done, you guys. This is just a temporary bed to give these plants the best chance at life. I have not formally edged it. I also have not shaped it the way that I want it to, and every single one of these plants will be relocating in this bed. So I did go ahead and lay down some pieces of cardboard in between the gaps of the plants. I did also run cardboard along the back fence line just to help smother out any remaining grass that I have back there. And then I did go in with just a thick layer of mulch, about 3 inches thick, just to help that decompose over time as the rains and as I water the plants. That will help break down the cardboard and kill any weeds. So let's go ahead and run through the first inhabitants of Rehab Row. Starting over here on the far end, I have an Indian hawthorn. This one is called Ballerina. So I'm not going to go into too much detail about the plants just because I have already gone into thorough detail about each one in my haul video. I will leave that linked in the cards above as well as in the description box if you guys are interested in more information about the plants. But this is an Italian hawthorn. It does bloom pink flowers. Next beside that, I have a grouping of 5 perennial grasses that I found on clearance for $1 each. I did keep the tag for these just because these 5 were not featured in my clearance haul video, so I will give you guys the information. Here's a look at the tag. So these are called Lucerne blue-eyed grass. They are a mounting perennial. They bloom in the summertime. Full sun plant. Look at the blooms, you guys. They're coming up more purple on camera, but they're more of a deep blue color. So pretty. So these grow 8 to 10 inches tall and wide, and they are hardy to zone 3. So I'm super excited to see these perform next summer. I actually did not decide to cut these back just because they do look pretty good for clearance plants. So I'm just going to let them do their thing. They will die back this fall and then flush out with new growth next spring. Next beside that, I have a little shrub here. This one is called Baby Kim. This one is a lilac. And then down here in front, I have 2 agastache. These are called Arizona Sunset. And then I have planted here a drift of salvia here. These are called Bordeaux Rose Salvia. They bloom a nice purple flower. And then on the back wall, I have 3 little lime hydrangeas. Of course, these will get quite large, so they're planted way too close to the fence line. I know, you guys. Again, these are not the permanent locations. So love my little limes. Y'all know how I feel about my paniculated hydrangeas. 2 more of the same Arizona Sunset agastache planted here. Y'all, I'm gonna have to get some more of these. Like, these are so fragrant. This is my first time ever coming in contact or across this plant, and it has just been doing amazing. I did cut these back all the way down to the base when I first got them back in May. We are at the end of July now, and so what you're seeing is all new growth as well as fresh blooms. So yeah, these did amazing. I'm just gonna keep them here until I figure out where I want them to go permanently. Then I do also have 3 daylilies here popped in the ground. These are called Little Kreatyve daylily. They bloom a nice deep purple flower with a kind of yellow lime green throat. So pretty. Cannot wait to see those perform. Here in the center, this is the only plant that is planted in its permanent location. This is a Homestrup arborvitae. It is an evergreen. And I got this one on clearance, half off, from New Garden Nursery here in my area. And I do have a couple more on order that I will be spacing along this fence line once they come in. So I'm so excited to have this one here. This one does grow about 4 feet wide and 8 to 10 feet tall. So it will, of course, disguise this fence, you guys. I am actually going to go in and finish painting this. My neighbors painted this fence and they forgot to finish painting. It looks like the little gaps in between. So I'll be touching that up, but this fence line eventually will not even be seen. So I'm excited to get some more of those to finish off my hedge. Y'all know I love to have my evergreen structures in the garden just to have that nice lush green backdrop in front of my plants, or I should say behind my plants. Okay, so moving right along, in the back here I have 3 more little lime hydrangeas, and then down here in the front I have a grouping of 3 peaches pink Stokes asters. These bloom a gorgeous lilac, like star-shaped flower. So pretty, you guys. I cannot wait to see those bloom next year. I did decide not to cut these back just because I felt like they still look pretty healthy. I may go in and just deadhead the bloom heads off of that just to give it a little bit more life, I should say, and I'll probably trim off this little rogue limb over here on the side. And then down here I have another drift planted. I have 7 blanket flowers. These are all called, I think, Arizona Sun blanket flowers. They have a yellow outside and red inside of their bloom. I'll see if I can give you kind of a close-up on one. Again, all of these are struggling, you guys. I will give you all updates on how my plants are doing. I'm really concerned about this one here and this one there, just because the roots on that one were so mushy, you guys. I won't be surprised if those don't make it, but fingers crossed. And then back behind this one here, I have 2 coneflowers planted. Those are called Powwow Wildberry coneflower. They bloom a hot pink, like a hot magenta pink flower. So pretty. I did decide to cut these back pretty harsh because I felt like they were really struggling. So hopefully they will flesh out with some new growth, and maybe I'll get a couple blooms before the end of the season. And then moving on, here I have 2 more Indian hawthorns. These are a different variety than the first plant I showed you guys. These are called white Indian hawthorns. So as the name suggests, these bloom white flowers. The first one down on the end that I showed you guys down there blooms pink flowers. So excited for those 2. And last but not least, y'all, I am so excited about this little Charlie Brown looking tree. Y'all don't understand. This has been a wish list tree of mine for the past 2 years. I've had a vision in my head. I knew I wanted this tree in my backyard. I have just not purchased it or been on the hunt actively for one, because I knew I was going to be extending my backyard. So now that that is finally in the works, I have been calling around for the past like 3 to 4 months trying to find a chase tree. And I finally found a nursery in my area. They said they could order one for me. It would have been a dwarf variety. It would have been $89.99, and I couldn't get it until next spring. So I said, I will think about it. I'll get in touch with you. The very next day, y'all, I went to Lowe's and I saw 3 of these sitting with all the other crepe myrtles. They weren't in the clearance section or anything, just in the regular tree section. And it was super yellow, super dried and crispy. As you can see, some of the leaves here are still quite damaged. So I will give this like a slight trimming. But it has started to color back up since I've been watering it. It's starting to turn its nice lush green color as it should be. This is not a dwarf variety. This one is called Delta Blues. This is a Vitex. And y'all, I got this tree for $13.49. 13 bucks versus $90 if I had ordered it from the nursery, and I would have had a dwarf variety. So I am so excited to have got this tree. You guys, you don't understand. This tree is gorgeous. In the summertime, it blooms these gorgeous clusters of purple blooms on the tips of its tree limbs. So pretty. I will insert my inspiration picture from a restaurant that I found the tree originally at. So as you can see here, mine tried to put out some blooms, but because it was so underwater, they have dried up. So I probably will just go in and snip those off. And I have decided not to plant it here in this space because I am going to be planting this tree in its permanent location once I create the bed, probably sometime in the next couple of weeks. So it's doing fine here in its can. I do water this twice a day to make sure it stays nice and moist, and it's doing great, y'all. I'm so excited about this tree. Y'all don't understand. So yeah, anywho, that is what Rehab Row is currently looking like, you guys. I'm so excited to finally have a designated space to plant all of my rehab distressed plants once I buy them, because normally they just kind of sit in their cans, either piled up on my patio or in my driveway, literally for months until I get them in the ground. So now I have somewhere I can put them. I'm so excited for it. Again, this bed will be changing quite constantly. So I do have the cardboard down now. I'm gonna let it do its thing. I might end up pulling it up, like I said before, tilling in some compost, and then this eventually will be a formal bed. I will be shaping it into a formal bed, doing my formal permanent plantings, and I do eventually plan on moving my rehab bed to another location. I'm just not able to do that now because all of this is still in the works. So I will give you guys an update on what's going on back here. This is my backyard extension. I know you guys have heard me talking about this back here, but I haven't really kind of showed what's going on. So if you have not been following along, right where this grass is, just straight across here is where my property used to end, and it was just all woods from here back. So I had all of the trees cleared out. This is an extra 35 to 40 feet deep. And it's 60 feet lengthwise across. So I have roughly about 2,400 extra square feet of planting space, which I'm so excited about. But originally, right where that grass mound is, y'all, I was cutting grass today, so that's where I just dumped my clippings. Right where that was, there was a drain, and it was a gully. So my property used to dip down really low, come back up, and then just drop off as a steep slope. So I have already had 2 truckloads of just clay dirt brought in and spread out to just even off the slope, and then this extra clay will go in to fill that low area down there and start my terracing. All of this dirt you see here is from the holes that I dug today to create these gorgeous plant holes up here. So yeah, I'm excited. All the rest that you're seeing is just wood chips. When they cut down the trees, they put them in the chipper, and I just had them dump them back here and had them spread out to help level out the ground just a little bit. I might end up using some of these in my bed. I'm not sure yet, but you guys, I'm just so excited for all of this extra space. I know it probably doesn't look like a lot. Let me kind of walk down here so you guys can get a full perspective. And I used to not even be able to come down here, you guys. Ooh, I've got some tree stumps still here. Because this was all poison ivy. So now, I'm not gonna go all the way to the property line, but this kind of gives you guys a quick pan just to get a feel for how much more space I have to plant back here. Oh, I'm so excited. I cannot wait to see my vision come to life. Can't wait to see my pathways installed, my fountain installed, all of my new beds. Oh, it's going to be gorgeous. So I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video. I hope you found it inspirational. I hope you're enjoying following along with all of my backyard updates. You guys, let me know in the comments what you think about Rehab Row. I want to know your ideas. So thank you guys again so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you liked it, give it a big thumbs up, like it, share it with your friends. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. I will catch you in my next video. Peace.